All right. Let's go ahead and do this. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to learn about writing your professional bio. I know it's the evening. We all got stuff to do, dinner to cook or whatever, but I'm really glad that you're here. Oh, and my Raiders are on right now. Don't get distracted. It's preseason, so you know. At any rate, how to write your professional bio is what we talk about, because I think that it is one of those things that you don't think about until you need it. It's almost like insurance, right? You don't think about insurance until you need it. Then it's like, ooh, right? And so it happens all the time where someone will undoubtedly ask you, email you, hey, could you send over your bio? And the scramble begins, right? You're scrambling, trying to figure out, okay, wait, where's my bio? Do I have a bio? Okay, well, just use my outdated resume. Yes, I did say outdated because that's what happens. We get so busy, so enthralled with all the things that we're doing that we forget to update our resumes and our bios. But there's a difference, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Before we do that, let me introduce myself. My name is Joan Stanford. I am the CEO and Chief Content Developer here at Jazzy Pen Communications. I am a journalist by trade. I'm actually from Southern California, but went to school in Northern California. So I am very familiar with all of the different cities that you guys are probably from or currently in. Yes.
It might just be me, I'm not sure, but your audio and video are going separate.
I wonder, should I use my mic? Because I was going to ask you that earlier, but you seem to be hearing me okay.
Hearing you good, and then your video is like just a little delayed.
One second. Okay, now I have my mic in. Is it syncing up and do I sound better?
Yeah, your mic is perfect.
Look, Donnell's like, yes, thumbs up. Okay. Is video okay for you too, Donnell?
Perfect.
Yes, okay. So it's just you, Maisha. No, I'm just kidding. All right. We're going to continue on with my background and who I am. I'm a journalist by trade, former magazine editor. I have over 25 years of professional writing, editing, and marketing experience. So yeah, I started when I was 5, and that's what we're going to go with. I am certified with Constant Contact as a solution provider and partner with them. And most recently, I'm excited to announce that I was named on a list that has the top African-American business women and corporate women to follow on LinkedIn. So I bring that up because a lot of people don't think about LinkedIn and the connection of using your bio on LinkedIn. So we're going to talk about that. I'm not even going to dive into that right now, but it's important, right? At the end of the day, having a well-written bio is only going to help you in the long run, and you want it to elevate your brand. You have a personal brand, you are a brand, whether or not you have a business or you are working in corporate America, you are a brand, and we need to bring that to the table, right? Before I go on to my tangents, let me talk to you really quickly about the business Jazzy Pen Communications and some of the things that we offer, the power of Jazzy Pen, I like to call it. Some of the projects that we work on, of course, bios. It kind of goes without saying, but just a really quick story. Elaine Norland was a client, and she came to us because she was actually nominated for an award. And she said, Joan, I have never, ever really actually needed a bio because based on her business, it was all about capability statements. So at this juncture, she said, I have no clue what to do in terms of writing a bio, and they need it like next week. Said, no problem, don't freak out, got you covered. We were able to write her bio, interview her, write her bio, and get that done. And happy to report that she actually won the award that she was up for, which was National Association of Women Business Owners of California, Woman Business Owner of the Year. Whew, I always mess that up, but yeah, that's what she won. So pretty excited to have had a part in that. And like to say that's the power of the Jazzy Pen, right? Another example are email campaigns. Like I mentioned, I'm a partner with Constant Contact. So of course I use Constant Contact, but I use other email platforms as well for my clients. In this case, Laura was going to be a speaker. She needed to have a campaign where she would invite people to come out to her booth before she actually took the stage. So that was the goal, and was able to create that campaign for her. But we had a bonus result, which was that she actually started generating.
I'm gonna come watch you in a minute, okay?
She actually started generating revenue from that email campaign. Next example of the power of the Jazzy Pen is a contributed article. So another client came to me and said, Joan, I have this chance to write an article for this publication in my industry, but I really know that I can't do it justice. And I want to really use this for the benefit of the business, right? So we were able to come together, put our heads together and figure out what our strategy was going to be. We created actually an SEO strategy for it, and happy to report that it worked out really well because it got her to rank on the first page of Google for those keywords that we were targeting in that article. Final example, Mommy Advantage. Charlene came to us by way of referral, and she said, Joan, I heard that you can write really good landing pages. I said, oh, okay, I like that. What do you have in mind? She had written this book and she had one goal and one goal only, and that was to become an Amazon bestseller. And I was like, whoa, okay, no pressure, but I'm not going to guarantee that, but let's see what we could do, right? So wrote her landing page, put all the things together. She was doing some giveaways and things like that to generate sales over the course of that early bird period that you really want sales generated to actually achieve it. And happy to report that she not only achieved Amazon best-selling status, but she achieved it in 2 different categories. So that's the power of the Jazzy Pen. These are just a couple of examples. Of course, we have a lot of other things going on, press releases and social media posts and media kits and so much more. But this just gives you an example, an idea. All right, enough about me. Enough about Jazzy Pen Communications. Let's go ahead and jump into our topic for today, which is really diving into how to write your professional bio, okay? And not just any professional bio, but a bio that actually wows, a bio that's going to stand out from the rest. And that's what we want to have happen, right? Really quickly, we only have a short time together, but I'm going to power through and give you guys the goods. First, we're going to define what a professional bio is, because a lot of people have some preconceived notions of what a bio is, and sometimes they're not always correct. So we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to define that for you. We are going to talk about the 6 fundamental steps to actually writing that bio. Some of the steps are optional, but it's going to get you there, right? We're going to tap into a few strategies for standing out, and then really quickly tap into just a couple of points for tips for writing online profiles, right? Okay, rock and roll. So what is a professional bio? At the end of the day, a professional bio is really a summary of who you are as a professional or a business person, right? That's the meat of it. And I want you to be thinking about your bio as being almost like a product value statement, but in this case, the product is actually you, right? So how do you describe this product? How do you bring forth all of the benefits, all of the goodness that this product has to offer the marketplace? That's what your bio is, okay? What your bio is not, and I have to tap into that. What it's not is a professional bio is not a resume. I'm going to say it again. A professional bio is not a resume. And I have to say it twice because I was a member of an organization, highly involved. We had an annual award ceremony, and we had all of these honorees who we had to contact, get their headshots so we could put it into the program. We asked for their bios, and lo and behold, without fail, we would always get at least 50% of the honorees were submitting resumes. And it's like, wait, what? Where is your bio? So now we've got to try to make it work, or they would say, I don't have a bio, yada, yada, yada. Don't let that be y'all. Because your resume and your bio are two completely different things, okay? Your resume is kind of going chronologically and breaking down your professional experience, yes. But your bio is sharing it in a narrative form, and it is a summary. So we're summarizing, y'all. We're not talking about what you did 29 years ago because you were the bomb.com in that very first job that you had, right? That's not going to be included in your professional bio. We are going to gear it for what it is you're doing now and all of the things that are related to that, all right? It's also not a literary piece of work, right? A lot of people shy away from writing their bios because they think, oh my gosh, I got to tell the story of, when I was in kindergarten and I've got to write this, 50,000 word piece. It's not that. Viola Davis has a wonderful book all about her life. That is a book. It's not her professional bio, okay? So it's not a literary piece of work. It's not a novel. It is a document that you're going to use for the benefit of elevating your professional experience and your personal brand. Finally, it is not a static document. This is something that you are going to be updating on a regular basis as things are happening in your career, in your business life. You are going to be updating it. For some people, you may scrap the whole thing because you're going through a whole brand refresh. You are doing something new, you're reinventing yourself, you're changing careers, you're shifting gears, and that is okay. But you need an updated, new professional bio to go along with that, right? Really quickly, before we jump into the steps, I always like to knock out a couple of the frequently asked questions that I get about bios, because I know some people come in like, ooh, I can't wait to ask this, and I can't wait to answer it either. So the first question that I get, how many bios should I have, right? A lot of people think, oh, one and I'm good, I'm done, right? They cranked it out, they stayed up all night, they worked on that baby, and I hate to tell you, that's not enough. That one bio is not going to get it, right? It may get you over the hump and it may be valid for a few requests, but inevitably there are going to be other things that you're going to need your bio for, so you're going to need to have multiple bios. So my answer to the question, how many bios should you have? Drum roll, please, is 3 at a minimum, right? You should have at least 3 bios at the ready on your desktop, in your folders, easily accessible when you need them. 3 bios. right? The first one is going to be what I call the long bio. And this one is going to be used more for like your website or an about me page as an example, right? That's going to be your length of your piece, and it's kind of going in more depth. The second bio is going to be the standard bio. This is the one that pretty much you can give for most requests that you're getting. Is going to be that standard bio, okay? And then you also want to have what I call the mini bio, which is literally 2 sentences long about who you are real quick, right? So those are the 3 bios that you should definitely have. Now, can you have more? Should you have more? Depending on what you're using them for, the answer would be yes, right? We can get into that a little bit later, but that's the quick answer, okay? The other question I get often is, how long should my bio be? Like I said, with the longer bio that you would use for your website, you're looking at roughly 400 words. And even that is being generous. We want to keep it right around that 300 mark, okay? Your standard bio is going to be basically 2 paragraphs long, and not long diary entry paragraphs. We're talking about short, succinct, powerful hitting paragraphs. And then the mini bio, like I mentioned, is going to be just 2 sentences, maybe 3 sentences, okay? Short sentences at that, yeah? All right, next. Do I write this bio in first person or third person? So I got MBAs in the house. I don't need to break down the difference between those 2, right? Look, some people are like, okay, wait, I don't even remember. No. The answer to this, and I hate using this answer to answer anything, but it depends. It depends on how you're going to use the bio, right? In certain instances, the first person bio is going to be more effective for you, right? You're going to get more bang for your written buck with that first person bio. And a good example of that would be your LinkedIn bio, right? That's a place where there's been transition. When LinkedIn first started, it was kind of resume-ish, if you will. Now we are really using it as a platform to elevate our personal brands. So in so doing, to resonate and connect with people a lot easier and quicker, first person is the way to go. Conversely, if you want to come across as authoritative and you want it to sound like other people are talking you up, third person obviously is the best way to go in that regard. So a great example for that would be in a business plan, or if you are going for a business loan and they want to know about the leadership, right? They're trying to determine if they're going to give you money. You want to break that down in third person, okay? All right. And the last question that I think I get quite a bit is, what if I don't have major accomplishments? Like at this stage of the game, maybe you are transitioning to a new role, a new direction, a new industry, and you haven't really planted your feet yet, so you don't have major accomplishments. In that case, there are lots of things that you've probably done that are related that you can bring to the table. The key is to showcase the value that you offer, right? So think about, I often think about students who, have been professional students for the longest, and now they're jumping into the workforce, right? So maybe you're discussing the different research that you've done as it relates to this new industry or new role that you're taking on, right? Maybe it is work that you've done as an intern for a particular corporation, right? And if that corporation is, I don't know, Google or Salesforce or these other companies, that's going to lend credibility, right? So there's ways in which to finesse your bio in order to still position yourself very well, even though you don't have quote unquote major accomplishments. Okay. All right. Now, with bios, we know the definition, but I want you to also be thinking of the know, like, trust factor. And consider that bios are a way for you to elevate that know, like, trust factor, right? So in order for people to get to know you, traditionally we think about, in-person networking and we're getting to know each other. We're doing the Starbucks coffee meetings, all of that, right? If you are meeting somebody across the country, we're not doing the Starbucks meetups. And oftentimes it's that bio that's giving them that first impression. So how are they going to know you within this bio? By answering these questions. Who are you? What do you do? And how are you different from other people that do the same thing that you do, right? Do you have a specialized framework by which you use? Are you certified by a certain entity, etc.? Okay. Likewise with like, how are people going to like you? Well, within your bio, they're going to discover some things that they think are pretty cool, right? So that could be some of the things that you're passionate about, right? Maybe there are different organizations that you support that they too support, right? Maybe you mentioned having, 5 pets. Yeah, I don't know, but that is something that is personal about you and it resonates with them because they too have a slew of cats, right? Whatever the case may be. These are things that are going to help you be likable. Other questions to ask, who is the person behind the business or behind this professional role, right? We know the person in corporate America kind of by their titles, but who's the person, right? What are their thought processes, the innovative ideas and things like that, right? That's going to help us to really like this individual. And then finally, with trust, you're getting people to trust you by showing your worth, right? By showing some of your value, your merit. What have you been able to accomplish? What have you done that is getting people to say, oh, wow, well, all right, okay. Who have you worked with? Who have you helped? Maybe it's a celebrity. Maybe it's an influencer. Maybe it is a particular corporation. Maybe it's somebody who everybody knows, right? You've worked with Oprah. We got to know that, right? In your bio. And based on this, when you are putting in elements of that know, like, trust factor within your bio, ultimately you're going to win. Okay. Really quickly, where can you use your bios? A lot of people don't think about certain pieces as bios, but at the end of the day, they really are different variations of your professional bio. Okay. So we might automatically think about that about us page, right? About the leadership, about me, if it's just a solopreneur or a solo business. Maybe it's your personal website. So it is truly all about you, right? That is your bio. Yes. But other things we may not think about. If you are a speaker, that speaker introduction is a variation of your bio, right? If you have a speaker one sheet that is highlighting the different topics that you offer, you're also including a short piece about you as a speaker, and that's your bio, right? In that case, it's a speaker bio. I mentioned having different awards, events, and people being honored. Those individuals have to submit a bio. those are bios, right? If you are an author or you have contributed to a book or a piece of work, those author credits are bios, okay? So you can use your bio that way. For publicity purposes, you can use your bio within media kits, right? There's a lot of different things in there. It could be a press release. It could be a one sheet with all of the different bulleted items of things that your company does. And then there is information of bios, right? Depending on if it's about you or your team, you should have team bios as well, right? Already talked about application for awards. If you are being considered for a corporate board, they want to see your bio, right? Business proposals, job applications, sometimes they want you to submit a bio. I recently found out that some companies are asking for bios via TikTok, which was kind of interesting to me, but it is a way in which you are presenting your bio. So now you're giving your bio in video form, right? But the elements are still the same. It's still a bio, okay? And then social media profiles, all of your listings, all of your profiles, those are variations of your professional bio, right? There's a few more that I haven't listed, but I think this is a pretty comprehensive list and you get the idea of the different places where you can use it. Yeah. All right. So let's jump into the 6 steps really quickly. Step number 1 almost kind of goes without saying, but sometimes you have to just say it. You want to identify the purpose and the target audience for said bio, right? How is this bio going to be used? And kind of what do you want to get out of it, right? What do you want this bio to accomplish for you? Okay. Is it going to be to, get investments for your venture? Is it going to be getting new clients? Have people see you as someone that they want to do business with? Is it to generate interest on your website? Is it for a new job, right? These different ways in which you're going to use your bio would impact the way in which you write the bio. So that's step number 1, is to really identify the purpose and who's going to be reading it. Another thing to keep in mind is this bio going to be read aloud, right? That's something that people often forget about or don't really think about. So if you are being honored or going to be a part of an event, and the host, the MC, whoever is going to be either reading your bio verbatim, hopefully they're not really reading every single word, but that is going to be a way in which you want to have your bio written so that it is easily read verbally to an audience, right? That's a little bit different than how you would position it if it's just going to be posted online, right? So consider that as you write your bio. How's it going to be used? Who's going to be using it? Who's your audience, right? Next, step number 2, and probably I'd say one of the most important pieces, is start with a strong first line. A strong first line, y'all. I see some of y'all taking notes. Go ahead and highlight that, underline it a couple times. Your first line is the one that sets the tone. Your first line makes people pay attention, right? So imagine you're in this event and all of these people, let's say it's a black tie event, right? All of these people have gotten dressed, they're here, they've been here all day or for a couple of hours or an hour, whatever the case may be. And now we're getting into the awardees part of the evening, right? They're talking about all of the different nominees or honorees, and you're one of them. You want to make sure that people are not going to the bathroom when they hear your first line, right? You want people to sit up and pay attention and whoa, okay, let me think about that for a minute, right? But I don't want you guys to stress on this first line. That's what I'm saying, all that. I'm putting a lot on it because it is powerful and can be powerful, but it could be a very good differentiator between you and the rest of the pack, right? Some of the things that you want to think about or consider when you're writing this first line is intriguing your readers or your listeners, right? Answering what it is you do and for whom, okay? And please be sure to state your full name, right? There's only one Beyonce, there's only one Oprah, there's only one Cher. You're not them. So until you get to that status where everybody knows you by your single one name, full name, right? First and last, not necessarily having to include your middle name or what have you, but full names for that first line, okay? Also consider that most people with really, quite frankly, anything in the marketing realm, people are listening and reading with this one station, WIIFM, in mind, right? Many of you know what that is. What's in it for me? They want to know that. And if you can bring that to the table right in that first line or the second line, you are winning, right? If you are piquing their interest and kind of giving them the goods, they're going to be more inclined to listen. They're going to be more inclined to pay attention, more inclined to hire you, more inclined to do business with you, okay? So powerful first line. Really quickly, some examples on the screen. As executive director of the Babson College CWEL, Susan Duffy educates, inspires, and empowers women to transform their entrepreneurial potential into entrepreneurial impact. Okay, well, how do you do that, Susan? I want to know, right? Next one, Dana Manciagli called A Combination of Jillian Michaels and Susie Orman for Careers. I'm gonna stop right there because I'm pretty sure y'all know these people, right? Or have heard of them. Immediately you get a sense of, okay, she is playing no games, right? That's the sense that you get, like, okay, she's serious. She is good at what she does, right? That's what we want to have happen right in the first line, like, okay, if you can. Continue on. She has a corporate executive, has been a corporate executive for more than 30 years and has leveraged her employee hiring and management experience into that of author, blogger, keynote speaker, career coach, and global career expert. So not only is she badass, excuse my language for anybody, but she also is doing a slew of things and doing it very well, right? So those are some examples of powerful first lines. One of my clients, Veronica Corona, she said, Joan, okay, I actually did this presentation or similar presentation for her organization. And she said, you know, I want you to use me as the test case, right? I want to hire you. I want you to do my bio. And I'm like, okay, what do you got? What are you working with? So her before kind of read like this. Miss Veronica Corona is a native of Los Angeles, born and raised in the San Fernando Valley to Mexican immigrant parents. She is owner and managing partner of CM Cleaning Solutions, Inc., which provides complete janitorial services. Okay, not bad. I thought it was okay, right? And I told her that because she was just down on herself. But what I thought needed to be changed was the emphasis seemed to be on being born and raised. For some reason, that phrase in and of itself stands out. And a lot of people tend to use it. And quite honestly, a lot of people as listeners tend to drift off. You were born and raised in South Central. You were born and raised in East Palo Alto. Blah, blah, blah. Right? So what I encouraged her to do was kind of remove that. I mean, we can still talk about that in the bio somewhere, and we're not going to use the phrase born and raised, but we can talk about her being of Mexican heritage and having immigrant parents. But really focus in on her business is what we wanted to bring to the fold right away. So in so doing, revamped it a little bit. Veronica Corona and her team work hard to keep Southern California office buildings clean. In fact, keeping it clean while you sleep is the motto of her company. CM Cleaning Solutions, a world-class janitorial services firm headquartered in Los Angeles, California. Boom. So now we know that her business and a bag of chips, and they're going to keep your office building clean while you sleep. So they're busy working in the middle of the night. You come back to a fresh office building. Yeah. So to me, in talking with her, interviewing her and all of that, that was more important to bring up top really quickly, more so than having immigrant parents being from San Fernando Valley, et cetera. Okay. Another client example, Pamela Plick has all the certifications in the world as it relates to being a financial expert. She's just all that, right? And in this particular industry, it's important for them to present in a certain way, if that makes sense. But the way in which she was presenting right away, again, makes people drift off if they're not in that world, right? So her before was Pamela Plick is a certified financial planner, practitioner, fee-based registered investment advisor, certified divorce financial analyst, accredited wealth management advisor, and the woman and money expert. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired just reading that. Matter of fact, let me take a sip of water. That is great information. It is not only a mouthful, but it's weighing her bio down heavily at the top, right? So we want to distribute the weight evenly, as they say, right? And that's what I encouraged her to do. So we kind of changed it, wanted to really focus on elevating her brand. And in so doing, flipped it a little bit. Known as the money mentor for women, Pamela Plick educates and empowers women to take control of their financial future. Pamela is a certified financial planner, a fee-based registered investment advisor. We talked a little bit investments, and then we kind of sprinkle some of the other things throughout, so it wasn't all top heavy, if that makes sense. Okay. Next step. Craft and share your story. Everybody has a story, right? Whether or not you think you have a story, you have a story. And if you're thinking, "Ooh, I don't have a story. I'm just out here just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents," right? Especially if you're living in the Bay. Yes, I know the struggle. But you have a story. The question is how you're going to craft that story and position that story so that it's relatable, that it elevates your personal brand, that it correlates and is in alignment with what you're doing. Now, if you have a story, but it doesn't really have anything to do with your business, like your story is a juicy one, right? I have a client right now who has a great story, but it's some pieces of it we wouldn't want to put in her professional bio, right? In her memoir, yes. In her professional bio, no, right? So you have to be discerning and decide, right? If your story is going to do you justice for your brand and what you're trying to do, then by all means use your story, okay? when you're making this decision or you're thinking about how to craft it or what makes a good story, some of the questions that you're going to ask yourself is, why did I go into this industry to begin with? Right? Why am I here? What brought me to today? Right? What inspired me? Was it an activity? Was it something that happened to you in the past? Was it a mentor's encouraging? I don't know. Whatever inspired you may be very good for including in your bio as your story element or the beginning part of your story. Maybe it's your challenges that you faced and that you've overcome. That often makes a great story, right? Started from the bottom, now we're here. What experiences brought you to today? These are the things that you want to be thinking about, right? I know, for me, I was laid off and didn't really think that I would be starting a business, but I did, right? I actually started my business as a side hustle, and it was like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back, and keep this thing kind of moving, right? That's part of my story, right? What's your story? And will it resonate with your readers and listeners? Really quickly, some of these are kind of long, so I'm going to read real fast. Y'all stay with me. Tori Johnson, some of you guys may be familiar with her or seen her on TV. Her bio at one point read, it's probably changed by now. Tori Johnson is all about spark and hustle at work, dating back to high school in Miami Beach, where she joined her all-male debate team and became the first girl with her partner to win a state championship. She dropped out of Emerson College for a chance to work at ABC News and then jumped to NBC News, only to be fired unexpectedly a couple years later. The permanent scar from that experience inspired her to shift from employee to entrepreneur. And in 1999, she founded Women for Hire from her apartment, blah, 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 right? Pretty powerful story. Notice it's like literally that first paragraph, right? But we have an idea. We get a sense. And if we've been laid off from a job, this resonates with us. This hits us to our core, right? She also goes on to talk about her twins and things like that. So single moms or moms who've been laid off can really resonate, right? She also had a conference series actually called Spark and Hustle, right? So all of these things play very well into her bio. Moving on, Dr. Venus Opal Reed. Many of you may know her, may not. Her bio reads really quickly. Dr. Venus Opal Reed is an acclaimed inspirational speaker, CEO, mindset, messaging, and marketing mentor, and entrepreneur coach with a sweet spot for teaching primarily Black women in business how to break the $1 million mark on their own terms. Her own personal journey from being a homeless youth on the troubling streets of Baltimore to a Stanford grad, accredited with a second master's degree and a PhD, has equipped her. Yeah, I see you like, what? Yeah, that's what we want to bring to the table in our bios. We want people to know that we are forces to be reckoned with, and they want to know us. They want to interview us. They want to hire us, right? They want to promote us, all of the above, right? Client example, Felicia Ross, founder of Life by Soul Design, transforms lives by helping women manifest the life of their dreams. As a life coach, Felicia firmly believes that all women should live out their life purpose and feel fulfilled and joyful while doing it. Her belief comes from her personal journey. Growing up, Felicia had lofty career aspirations to be a lawyer. She went to college, worked hard, took the bar, and achieved her goal. Yet, after several years as a practicing attorney, Felicia felt something was missing deep in her soul. And we go on to talk about her self-discovery process, etc., right? And how she's helping other people figure out their purpose. So that's an example of how you can incorporate your story into your bio. Do you have to? No, not necessarily, but if you've got a great story to tell and it aligns with what you're doing, then by all means use it because it's going to generate interest, right? I always tell people that, stories, especially now, we're all about stories, right? Even reality shows, you sit there and it's like, why am I watching this hot mess? You're enraptured by the stories that they're telling, right? I don't care how much of a hot mess it is. It's the stories behind the hot mess that is intriguing you, right? So, Cardi B was on a show where she became Cardi B, and people were, continuing to watch because they were all in to her story. She kept saying she's gonna be a rapper, she's gonna be somebody. And well, I just be doggone, she is somebody. I digress. Her story was what was powerful and continues to carry her throughout her journey, right? Next step, really quickly, prove that you're the best, right? Kind of hinted on it before, but you want to bring that wow factor. You want people to say, oh, as I was reading some of the examples, I saw some of the faces. I saw some of y'all like, oh, okay, I saw you, and you want to bring that wow factor, right? This could be in the form of impressive results that you have been able to accomplish. Most not critical, but the one thing that a lot of people tend to gravitate toward, and that's even in resumes as well, is money, right? If you were able to save somebody money, double their sales, triple their results as it relates to money, right? To save them $2.5 million, whatever the case may be, you are the savior just by doing that, right? Just by including that one line. So if that is you, if you have been able to achieve impressive results as it relates to money, definitely include it in your bio. If you've been able to achieve other results not related to bio, include it in your bio. You're a nutritionist and you helped a client lose 50 pounds in the course of blah, 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 put it in there, right? You've helped a client achieve a goal. You have led a team to create something new for the organization that has helped them stand apart from the competitors out there. Whatever the case may be, include those wow factors, those impressive accolades that you have received, right? Don't be afraid to name drop here. If you have worked with celebrities, like I said, influencers, great companies, organizations that are well known, that are going to elevate your credibility, you definitely want to include that information within your bio. Okay. Really quick, some examples. Don't have time to read them all. Let's see. Client Ursula Menchez, at the age of 27, just 5 years after she was hired, she was promoted to the position of president when the company's annual run rate was approximately 20 mil. She was responsible for increasing sales by 90% in 1 year. It's a wow factor. Yeah. Not even going to read all the rest, but you get the idea. Invited to speak at the White House, sold her company for 235 million, these types of things, right? Been named one of Ad Age's marketing technology trailblazers, and Entrepreneur of the Year, yada, yada, yada. All of these things are wow factor items, okay? Client example. Do I want to read all of this? With excellent customer service skills, Jeanette Granada has achieved remarkable success in her role as export and international sales manager at Accutech, a leading manufacturer of bipods and firearm accessories. She's an award-winning sales professional with a proven track record for securing international customers. Even just that sentence, that she's got a track record and she's won awards, right? We don't even need the specifics, but we know that she's really good at what she does. And if you have a sales team and you will, a sales professional, you want her on your team, right? She's double sales in the last 2 years, et cetera, et cetera. Wow factors go a long way. Step 5, add some personality, right? This is optional. You don't always have to do it, particularly depending on where you're going to use this bio, but consider adding in your hobbies, things that you're passionate about, your beliefs, any unique traits that might be fun to include, causes that you support, stories that make you likable and funny, right? Include those in your bio if applicable and if it works. Don't force it in there if it's not going to work, right? One example is Linda Hollander. She is the CEO of Sponsor Concierge. She was the wealthy bag lady at one point. She started out worse than broke. I love that first line. She was buried in debt, couldn't find a way out of the poverty trap and abusive relationships, but that's not what really bothered her. It was that she was short and had frizzy hair to boot. And then she talks about her business. And by the way, she still has frizzy hair. And actually, her hair is not that frizzy, but she thinks so. And it was funny, it was cute, and it goes with her personality. It truly is. That's her personality. Is she short? Yeah, she's kind of short. But you get the idea, right? Final step. Step number 6 is ending with something memorable or a call to action, right? This is how you're going to have your bio work for you. A lot of people assume, ooh, put my bio there, bada bing, bada boom. But nobody's calling me. Well, did you give them a phone number? Did you tell them to call you? Probably not. Okay, if you want them to call you, then you're going to have to add a call to action, right? Don't assume that we know what you want us to do. So that call to action could be call for a consult. It could be download my new ebook. It could be book for a speaking engagement, call blah, 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 right? Or contact my press agent, whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you want people to do, you have to tell them, okay? Is this always appropriate? No, not necessarily. Again, depending on how you're using your bio, where you're using your bio. We need to be discerning, okay? But you can ask people to visit your website for more information, to find out more in-depth information about your team and how they can help, right? A couple examples. With Mike Michalowicz, he talked about fabled author Simon Sinek deemed him the top contender for the patron saint of entrepreneurs. That's a pretty bold statement, and it's from somebody that a lot of people know, right? So it adds credibility. It says that he's somebody, right? Maybe it's the hobbies with Lauren, it's with the quarter horses. Call for more information, the website. Maybe it's mentioning that the book was a New York Times bestseller. You might want to check it out, buy it now, that sort of thing, okay? Strategies to stand out. A few ways to stand out. Number 1, avoid sounding like everybody else. This means that I don't want any of you guys that are on the line with me tonight to go out and grab a template. Why? Because not near one of you are a template, right? You are not a robot. At least I hope not. So, ooh, I'm rhyming. Wait a minute. You're not a robot. So don't present yourself as one. I want you to showcase yourself as the person that you are, right? We're not sounding like everybody else. I always say, don't be a sack. What I mean by that is so-and-so is a speaker, author, coach. How many bios have you seen with that first line? So-and-so is a speaker, author, coach. So-and-so, did everybody buy the same template? Yeah, they did. Don't let that be you. All right. Even if you are a speaker, author, coach, I am encouraging you to rewrite that narrative and bring it with passion, bring it a little bit better and differently. Okay. Number 2, use the inverted pyramid. This harkens back to the journalism days. We want to put all the key information at top, right? So don't say, blah, 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 blah. And then, oh yeah, by the way, because people may not get to by the way. Remember, they might go to the restroom. Okay. Share your motto or your mission, right? What people call you, what you're known for. Share that in your bio. That's how you're going to elevate your brand, right? If you're the hip hop preacher, then you're the hip hop preacher. We need to let that be known in your bio. Some of y'all nodding your head because you know who that is. But I'm just saying, right? Use active voice, not passive, right? Okay, some of y'all like, wait, what was that from English? What English 101? Okay, let me go on and break it down. Sheila generously donated $5,000 to homeless shelters. That's active, right? Not that it was donated by her is passive, okay? Moving on, power words in your bio. This is a big one. So when you have the opportunity, include power words, okay? These are words that give your bio strength, give you that, ooh, right? It kind of helps out the wow factor, even if what you're presenting isn't, a monumental wow, simply by incorporating power words makes it so, right? So not only did you lead a team to achieve fantastic results, no, you spearheaded this complete reorganization of XYZ. Hello, right? Now we're talking, right? So these are just a couple of examples. I've got a slew more. In fact, I have a sheet of some power words. If you're interested, email me. Really quickly, I know we're slightly over time, but I wanted to share some quick tips for online profiles. Approach them like they are headlines, right? You're in the grocery store and you're looking at all of these magazines and what's jumping out of you? These different headlines, right? Some of them are like way crazy, right? But they jump out at you. That's how you want your online profiles to be. And so you want to approach it that way. One of the things that you can do is include keywords. People are going to be searching for someone like you by keywords. They don't know you right off the top. They don't know your name, but they know that they need someone in this field. They know they need someone who does X, Y, and Z. What are they going to ask Siri? What are they going to ask Alexa and all of these other assistants? What are they going to put into that Google search bar? These are the words and phrases you want to include if you can, right? Think about your hashtags, right? Which one or two hashtags are most relevant to who you are, okay? Here's also where you want to include calls to action so people can be interactive with you. If you are including a call to action, let's say it's on your link within Instagram, right? And so you have a link tree and you're telling them, hey, go ahead and click this or go to the link in my bio for this. You're getting people on your email list and now you're going to be able to have conversations later, right? Talked about the keywords. Don't go overboard with the hashtags in your online profiles. A lot of people will just do all hashtags and it looks crazy, number one. Number two, it makes you almost kind of look desperate for likes and attention. So use those kind of sparingly, right? And most importantly, I would say be consistent across all channels with your name, the picture that you use. At one point there was this thing, okay, on TikTok, I'm this, on Instagram, I'm this, on Facebook, I'm this. People don't have time to figure out which persona you are, right? We are in the business of trying to figure out, are you a brand that we want to be a part of? Do we want to hire you? Do we want to work with you? And you the same person? So if you got your hair up in, it's like this on LinkedIn, then it also needs to be like that on Facebook and Instagram as well. Because if I suddenly have, the fluttering eyelashes and the, just looking completely different, they're not going to know. And it's not going to work for you, right? Likewise, with the bio, it's the same thing, right? You want to have similar things in your bio and be consistent in that regard. Although you're using differences based on the medium or the channel that you're using, right? Just really quickly, it's just all about the different characters and things that you want to use, excuse me, as it relates to your bio on the different platforms. I think that is it for us. Ju,